Hey, Kaiju lovers! I have a new episode of The Old 52 where we talk about #1 issues that were spectacular when they came out, and unfortunately their series no longer exists. They are brought to you by my comic book, Red Knight, issue 6, and 1 through 6 actually, are all available on my Etsy shop, Etsy at manospublishing.com, and primalpapercomics.com. They're both available for print or download. Also, speaking of Primal Paper Comics, you can get Jeff Hewitt's Amazing The Ends. Issue 5 is out, and it's actually fantastic. I recommend it. And you can check out all the Primal Paper books, and you can get a free sample. Free! Download it. It's off the Primal Paper Comics website, front page. It's free. You can take a look at all 5 titles and see if there's anything you like. Now, speaking of a title, Image was mindful of its image. Back in the early 90s, of course, it started out with the big 5 or 6 former Marvel artists, and they did create quite a stir, good and bad, and they did realize the faults. So one of the things they started doing, Jim Lee actually started this, wanted to create something that was a little more respectable than what they had been doing. So he brought in some new titles and new blood, and kind of calling it homage comics. And one of the titles was Leave It to Chance by James Robinson and Paul Smith. And Leave It to Chance was a very non-Image book at the time. It probably would fit in actually right now with a lot of their titles. But Leave It to Chance was a new series about this young girl named Chance Falconer, and her dad, Lucas Falconer, is sort of the Doctor Strange of this world, where he fights all sorts of occult and crazy supernatural beasts and villains. And he's been protecting their town. Actually, the family has been protecting the city for generations, and they usually start training the new Falconer about around age 14. Well, Chance is about to turn 14, and she's pretty excited. Her dad is her #1 hero, and we get to see essentially how much the city really does love Lucas Falconer, and we get to see a little bit of her world. They live in a huge, rich, enchanted mansion, really, that would make Bruce Wayne's house look like, I don't know, like a shithole. But there's some there's some beasties chasing the shaman and his daughter, trying to keep them quiet. There's some kind of corruption going on involving the supernatural. But when Chance goes to her father and basically says, "Hey, I'm ready," he tells her no, because you're a girl. And don't worry, I'll be fine. You grow up and have a boy, and I'll train him. He tells her, he actually alludes to something that's happened to him and her mother, and he doesn't want his daughter getting into this business, but he has no problem with a boy, so getting in the business. Screw whatever son you may have. Anyway, she doesn't take this well, and she, first off, does kind of react by, she discovers this little baby dragon that he was trying to figure out how to send back to its own dimension, but it could kill it, so she sets it free. Screw you, Dad. And she learns of his current case that's going on with the missing shaman and his daughter, so she decides to, after having a conversation with their butler, and he kind of accidentally encourages her to go forth on her own. I don't think he even thought that's what he was telling her, but anyway, she does. By the way, she has a cool, like, go-kart that looks like kind of a cord. Anyway, she finds herself in quick trouble when she runs into the demons trying to chase down this shaman. And, the chase ensues and she's cornered. Oh no, what will happen? Well, what's what's cool, well, I don't know, in case you pick these up, I don't want to tell you how she gets out of it. This art is beautiful. What a great looking book. Paul Smith put together an amazing series. It only lasted 9 issues, and unfortunately it doesn't seem to be at all picking up any heat for a comeback or anything like that. I haven't heard James Robinson talk about it in a long time, and Paul Smith is no longer with us, so it's pretty doubtful we'll see a comeback for this series. There's only 9 issues. It was collected in 2 trades. I highly recommend picking any of these up. The only problem with the series is really don't really get to hear what really happened to her mother and their father's face, who was somewhat deformed, but not too deformed. He almost looks like kind of a vampire lion guy or whatever. The series ends with a cliffhanger, which unfortunately we never get to see resolved. But I think it ends on a satisfactory note where you can pretty much enjoy the series for what it was. It won't kill you too much, but it will be a little bit of a problem going, oh, I want to see what happens after that. They're pretty... I think they'd probably be pretty easy to pick up online. I don't think they're very expensive. The characterization of Chance it's really easy to kind of get on her side and watch her get into these adventures. And they're a lot of fun too. Nothing really too hardcore. Nothing too Hellblazer or something like that. This more pretty much fun. I mean, maybe just a little more serious of a Gravity Falls kind of thing, where we have a young adventurer getting involved with the supernatural. Almost a little bit of like, you know, like early Buffy, or without, you know, all the real, you know, ass kicking or anything like that, or a little bit of a Nancy Drew. It's somewhere in that kind of range. I dug the hell out of it, and I wish they would like bring this title back, but I don't know if they will. Leave It to Chance #1. I highly recommend picking it up if you like this kind of thing. It's very good. Push the button, Lindsay.